In a significant development, a constitution bench of the Supreme Court today inquired as to what was the criteria behind the shortlisting of 4 names by the law minister that were recommended to the Prime Minister for his approval for the appointment of a new election commissioner. The Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court, led by Justice K.M. Joseph and also comprising Justices Ajay Rastogi, Anuradha Bose, Rishikesh Roy and C.T. Ravikumar, is currently hearing a batch of petitions seeking an independent mechanism to appoint election commissioners. Yesterday, the Supreme Court had sought the files related to the recent appointment of Arun Goel, a former bureaucrat, as the election commissioner on November 19th. Pertinently, the bench yesterday had remarked that it would have been appropriate had the appointment not been made when the matter was currently being heard by the Constitution Bench. Senior Advocate Prashant Bhushan, appearing on behalf of the petitioner, had informed the court yesterday that Goel was given a voluntary retirement from service on Thursday and that his appointment was notified within a period of only 2 days. We have made a detailed video on yesterday's hearing, including the courtroom exchange that took place, the link to which has been given in the description box below. Please do check it out. Today, pursuant to the perusal of the file submitted by the Attorney General, the Supreme Court was intrigued as to why the appointment was made within a day. It asked Attorney General for India R. Venkataramani why a person whose tenure would not even last the mandatory 6 years period was appointed, underscoring that although Goel has excellent academic credentials, but the tearing hurry with which his appointment was made is concerning. The presiding judge of the bench, Justice K.M. Joseph, today remarked during the hearing, and I quote here, "On 18th we hear the case, on same day you move the file, on same day Prime Minister says I recommend his name. Why this urgency? It says based on the list maintained, there are 4 names that you have recommended. I want to understand that out of vast reservoir of names, how do you actually select a name? Someone who was about to be superannuated in December. He's the youngest among the 4 names who were recommended. Is that a criteria? How do you select?" During the hearing today, Justice Ajay Rastogi also said that sometimes speed is required in appointments for some or the other reason. However, he pointed out that this particular vacancy had arisen only on May 15th. Echoing the concerns of Justice Joseph, Justice Rastogi also remarked during the hearing, and I quote here, "Can you show us from 15th May to 18th November, what did you do, what prevailed upon the government that you did this appointment super fast on one day? Same day process, same day clearance, same day application, same day appointment. File has not even traveled 24 hours also. Lightning fast." However, to this, the Attorney General today responded that all election commissioners are appointed through a quick process. He claimed that usually the process does not last longer than a period of 3 days. The bench then asked the government what was the criteria based on which the law minister shortlisted the 4 names that were recommended to the Prime Minister for his approval. To this, the Attorney General responded that there are certain bases for shortlisting, such as seniority, retirement, tenure that he will have in the Election Commission, among other factors. Justice Joseph then pointed out that even among the 4 names that were shortlisted, the government selected names of people who will not even get 6 years as election commissioner, which is a clear violation of Section 6 of the Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioners Conditions of Service Act of 1991. Addressing the Attorney General, Justice Joseph further remarked that although the Attorney General had stated that there are no other officers in the same category as Arun Goel, however, there are several such names from the same cadre itself. Probing further, Justice Joseph underscored, and I quote here, "We can read out the list. We want to know how do you come to a name. Now there are younger people also on the database. We want to know from you that what is the mechanism that you adopted to filter someone who is from this age factor, etc." To this, the Attorney General today responded that batch is one criteria, date of birth is another, seniority from the batch is another. Disagreeing with this submission, Justice Joseph reiterated that the central government was violating the existing law and accordingly remarked, and I quote again, "So ultimately, you are saying only those people need to be appointed who are on the verge of appointment so that they don't get a full 6-year period. carefully. Is that the law? You're violating Section 6. We are saying this clearly. The judge then continued to emphasize that Section 6 of the Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioners Conditions of Service Act of 1991 clearly states that the appointment needs to be made at least for a period of 6 years, and that although the proviso says that one will have to retire if he reaches 65 years before that, he inquired if the proviso can become the rule. The hearing in this case is currently underway. We will come to you with more such updates from the hearing. Thank you. I'm Aratrika Bhaumik for LiveLaw. Keep watching LiveLaw for more such updates.